This is Jesse Goldberg-Strassler, joined by Lansing Lugnuts pitcher Will McAffer. Will, what led you to Tulane?
So I was at junior college in Central Arizona, and the coaches there were actually really good friends with the head coach and pitching coach at Tulane. So they hooked me up. I talked with them a little bit. They came watch me through, and committed there. Really tough to beat New Orleans, tough to beat an academic school like Tulane. So it was really a no-brainer for me.
Had you ever been to New Orleans before?
No. When I went down there for my visit, it was my first time, and it's a different city. It's like nothing else. You can say you know what it's going to be like, but you get there and it's completely different. But I loved it. It's definitely a place that I'll always remember.
Are you a guy who enjoys live music?
I do like live music. I love listening to live music. My girlfriend really likes live music, so we'd go to concerts there and stuff. And even just at bars around town, they'd have live music playing, and it was really just a fun atmosphere.
What brought you to Central Arizona?
So my freshman year I was playing summer ball, and I didn't really think South Dakota State was a good fit where I was at for my freshman year. So I was looking at other schools, and I talked to one of the guys on my summer ball team, Colin Ashworth, about schools, and he went to Central Arizona. So he got me a phone call with their coach, and I had already knew about Central Arizona. I talked to them a little bit in high school. So once I talked to him then, I was more set on going to junior college. It happened within the course of about a week probably. I signed there and was already enrolled in classes and stuff. I didn't waste any time getting going.
Just tracking your path. North Vancouver to South Dakota State to Central Arizona to Tulane. Was this difficult transitioning and moving?
I don't think so. I just got used to it. I was, bouncing around place to place. I guess it's a little tough trying to, new coaches, new teammates, new philosophies every year, but it helped acclimatize me for pro ball because that's kind of what you're doing the same thing. You're moving around every year. You're going to probably play for a different team, so it's kind of nice that I'm used to it, and it's nice being here as well because it's my first time coming back to the same coaches, the same players and stuff like that because every year for the last 3 or 4 years I've been, new coaches, new faces, new staff, everything. So it's kind of nice having some sort of consistency in my career now.
Did you drive North Vancouver to South Dakota State to Central Arizona and then was this just long drive after drive?
So South Dakota State I flew because I actually showed up 3 weeks late because I was in Japan playing for Team Canada, so I flew there. Then Central Arizona I drove down. Me and my parents drove down there. It was about 25 hours. I drove home another 25 hours, and then when I was going down to Tulane, I was going to drive, but I talked to my parents and said that it's going to be a week to drive down there. I'm not going to have anyone to play catch with, and my parents sure were about to catch my bullpens, and I had to be down there ready to pitch. So they said, you can sit this one out, fly down, make sure you get your throwing in, and they drove it down. They made a bit of a trip out of it. They stopped a couple places, enjoyed their time, so it worked out for me for sure. They said they enjoyed it, but they wouldn't do it again.
Let's go back to your trip to Osaka and being part of, this was the junior national team, right? The JNT?
Correct, yeah.
How did you make the team?
So they just select you. There's no tryouts, nothing like that. So I just got a call one day. I was in the shower, actually. It was 6 in the morning. Our coach is from Ontario, so 6 in the morning. It's 9 for him. I was just in the shower getting ready for school. He calls me. I got to hop out of the shower. I see my phone buzzing in the bathroom. So I hop out of the shower, answer, hello? I'm all groggy, just woke up. Said, hey, well, we're here to invite you down to, it was the fall trip, because they have one trip in the fall and then a bunch in the spring. So he said he wanted to invite you down. I said, awesome, perfect. But, it always catches you off guard because there's no tryout, there's no nothing. So you don't know when, if, how it's going to happen, but it was definitely a big honor to get to play for my country.
What was that like when you put on that jersey for the first time?
Oh, it was huge. We played a lot of it down in Florida, actually, played against the Blue Jays split squad team, stuff like that. It's crazy how much support we get, even when we're that far away. There's people cheering for us, people asking for autographs, even though we're just a bunch of high schoolers from Canada. So that was definitely one of the highlights of my life, is playing for Team Canada.
That game every single year, the JNT taking on the Blue Jays. I know it. I look forward to it. I check out the box score every year. How was that experience for you?
It was awesome. I actually got to throw 3 innings in that game. It's a blowout most years, including the year.
They're pretty good.
Yeah, including the year I played. So, but it was just a great experience. I threw against a couple big leaguers. I think Kawasaki was in the game I played. Martin started catching the game, but he was out by the time I came in to pitch. R.A. Dickey started pitching the game. That was crazy to see. He carved us pretty good, but it was all in all a great experience. You can't ever complain about that. Getting to play down in that stadium, which now is probably had his last games played in before the renovations. It's exciting stuff.
With Will McAffer, of all of these different experiences, is there a game that you've pitched in that stands out and you saying this was the biggest stage so far?
There's been a few like high school provincial championships, big games through there. Had a triple header the last day. I pitched complete game to win it. That was probably one of the big ones. Had some big ones at college. My freshman year at South Dakota State, I had a big game to end the season again. We were actually eliminated, but I came in through 6, faced the minimum. Really, that was one of my best games of my career, I think. And then last year there was a lot of good games. I just really enjoyed being a part of, being in Vancouver. I don't know if there's any one standout game, but just looking back at my whole career so far, I've really just loved it.
Let's go back to last year. All of these guys are now Blue Jays organizational prospects. You grew up a Blue Jays fan, and then the Blue Jays drafted you. Did you have any expectation that would happen?
No, none at all. Like I knew it was a possibility. I was talking to them before the draft, talking to a couple other teams, but with the year I had in college, I knew the draft wasn't a for sure thing. I was just hoping and praying. I wanted to play pro ball, absolutely. So I'm really fortunate that the Blue Jays give me a chance and give me the opportunity to prove myself.
Who called you?
Brian Johnson from my area scout. He called me pretty much right before, said, "Hey, we got this much money this round. Like, are you in?" Yeah, sign me up.
You get called. You hang up the phone call with Brian. Who do you tell first?
I texted my mom because she was at work. My stepdad was at home with me, so I run upstairs. I'm like, oh, turn on TV or turn on the tracker, whatever it was. And, I just told them all, and then it happened like 30 seconds later. So I didn't really have a lot of time to warn anyone, but then my phone, blows up. I got a million people texting me. It was a pretty cool experience.
Had you ever gone to Vancouver Canadians games as a fan?
Yeah, so I've probably been to about 5 or so as a kid. I was actually at one this summer before just to watch. I went with my mom just to watch a game. Didn't think a year from now I'd be playing on that field. It was kind of crazy, but it was, definitely been a fan of the Canadians my whole life growing up.
You take the mound. How big is the ovation for you in your first home game with the Seas?
Well, I think no one really knew who I was until on the scoreboard it came out like North Vancouver, BC. Then everyone kind of goes crazy, but when they running out there, no one had any idea who I was. So, after they realized, I would always get a bit of a cheer, a holler, some claps. It was just nice.
You pitched well last year too, didn't you?
Yeah, I threw pretty well. I had a pretty good year. It's definitely stuff to work on, stuff to improve on. But I feel like for my first year in pro ball, getting acclimated and all that, it was really, really good year for me. Yeah.
What did you say? Okay, I want to work on this offseason.
Yeah, so I got some stuff mechanically that I've been working on, which is it's been helping me a lot. And throwing better this year, more strikes, stuff like that. That was a big thing with me is consistently throwing strikes, throwing my off speed, stuff like that. And it's been definitely better this year. I'm really happy with my progress.
Let me ask, what specifically mechanically, and what is that helping you do?
So I've always had quite short stride when I've been pitching, and I don't get much out of my legs. So I'm trying to get farther down the mound, pushing my legs more, get out over on top of my front leg and on top of the ball. It just helps me get 1 more velocity, 2 closer to the plate, 3 more command. So those 3 things are huge. Like if you're getting guys swinging and missing on fastballs and you're striding 3 feet, you start striding 5 feet, the ball's 2 feet closer, it's coming that much harder. So it's really, it'll just amplify every part of my game if I can implement it well.
How's your stuff feeling right now?
Good. Yeah, I felt really good yesterday. Pitch count was a little high, but it happens. Doesn't change how you throw. So I'll be down for a couple days here because 55 pitches is the first or the most I've thrown in a while. So, but I'm excited for my next outing for sure.
Will, finally, besides baseball, what else do you really enjoy?
Besides baseball, I love hanging out with my friends back home because I don't get to see them a whole lot. That's probably one of my favorite things to do. Friends, family, dogs, all that at home. Here, just hanging out with the teammates, getting to know them. Most days we just go home. We just hang out in the living room. Watch Game of Thrones, watch a baseball game, watch a basketball game. We're watching the final, the March Madness final the other day. It was a crazy game, and other than that, just kind of living life. There's not much time to think when you're playing baseball.
True. Will McAffer, Lansing Lugnuts pitcher, thank you very much.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm Jesse Goldberg-Strassler, and this is Lugnuts Baseball.